Hi everyone, it's Michelle from Scrap Secrets and welcome to the October hashtag event. This month's hashtag is Think Pink Art and this is my first project. So today I'm going to be using the stamp bundle from Simon Says Stamp called You Support Me. Included in that set are the stamp set called Thanks for the Support, which is what I'm showing you right now. And then there's also a die set called the Bra and Hanger set. Now this is all from Simon Says Stamp. So I decided that that would be a great one to use for this project. Then I'm going to use that banner piece that's also from Simon Says Stamp, and this always die, that's from Simon Says Stamp as well. I picked some cardstock. The pink cardstock is the Recollections 8.5 by 11 paper pack. It's the one that has the it's like almost an ombre pink colors in there. So I picked the lightest pink. I used some black Recollections cardstock, which those are all from Michael's. And then the designer paper is Me and My Big Ideas paper, and that was from the open stock at Michael's. We're also going to be using the Sponge Sugar Distress ink, which you see right now, and the mini ink blending tool. Now since that Me and My Big Ideas paper has a white core to it, if you take distress ink and run it around the edges, it gives it a little bit more of a finished look, and it also won't look so stark white against the black cardstock. It just gives it a nice finishing touch. So I just take my ink blending tool and run it around all the edges just to give it a little bit of a finished look. Then I'm going to take my Zig 2-way glue pen because at this point I believe almost all of my supplies are getting ready to be packed away. So I didn't have my ATG gun handy. That's what I would normally use. So just use the Zig 2-way glue pen to go around the edges of the paper before I put it down onto the black sheet. So the card base is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Then the black piece is 1/8 of an inch smaller than that, and the Me and My Big Ideas is 1/8 of an inch smaller than the black cardstock. So now that I have the designer paper and the black cardstock layer put together, I'm going to do the same thing, put glue on the back of the black layer, and get ready to stick it down to the card base. I was having a little bit of trouble with dropping things today. I couldn't pick things up, and then I just kept dropping things. Oh, now I'm centering it up on the front of my card base so that I get the pattern papers and everything on there in the center. So that makes the bottom of the card base. Now I'm going to show you the additional embellishments that I put on top of it. This piece was cut out from that same piece of pink cardstock, and you can see on there, I don't know how well you can see it, but the die creates little score lines once you cut them out. So I'm folding on the score lines, and sorry that didn't get put on camera. I didn't do a very good job of this. But I'm just doing mountain and valley folds to create the little tails of the banner. So once those are created, that's where I'm going to eventually stamp my sentiment on there. And it will be a sentiment from the Thanks for the Support stamp set by Simon Says Stamp. I took all of the dies from the bra and hanger set and ran them through my Cuttlebug with the same color pink cardstock. And it creates this bra. And I'm actually trying to pick up the die set here. Again, I was having a hard time. That's what it looks like. All of the pieces are put together. You can actually use wire cutters or scissors or just bend them to break them apart. But I decided to keep them all together because there's that little skinny bow in there and I was afraid I was going to lose it. Ran that through my Cuttlebug, and now I'm getting ready to stamp the bra image from the stamp set Thanks for the Support. So these coordinate with the bra and stamp dies. So we're going to be using bubblegum ink in mid-tone from Hero Arts, and that's a shadow ink. So it's going to go on a little bit splotchier, but once it dries back, it's going to dry solid. So I'm going to ink up my bra stamp from that stamp set. Make sure it's inked up nice and good. I think I've only used it once before. So just make sure I get a nice layer of ink on there. And then place it down on top of the die cut piece. Now you can stamp it first and then die cut it second, but I find that it's a little bit trickier to do it that way because you can't see through the die, so you can't line them up. I find stamping it after with the clear stamps is a little bit easier. So now when I pulled this off, I realized that there was part of the bra that just didn't get stamped at all. So you can do a couple things. You can take it right to the stamp pad and then use your hand and press it down, and that'll transfer some of the color over. You can take the stamp pad right to the paper and then just color over it. I like what I'm doing here. Or put it down and then just stamp over top of it. That also makes it a little bit darker. I just wanted to make sure that the entire thing was covered with that distress ink. Now, I'm notorious for contaminating my projects after I'm almost finished them. So right here, you'll see me start to wipe up my craft mat. If you guys don't have a craft mat, whatever you have, whatever kinds of ink you get on there on top of it will just sit on the top. So if you put a piece of paper over top of it, it'll pick up that color. So that's why I'm cleaning it off. Now I'm showing you the cups that I used for the bra. I'm just going to do a little bit of embellishment. So that's my favorite ink, my favorite things ink and Razzleberry I'm going to use for the polka dot cups. I'm just inking them up. I'm just trying to find the placement over there to make sure that I have the right cup on the right side. So take the Razzleberry ink and then stamp it down on the one side. I'll wipe it off and then put the other cup on and stamp the other side in the Razzleberry ink. I tried to use as many different colors of pink ink as I had. I wanted to try to get as much pink in as possible since it's a Think Pink art project. All right, I'm just trying to center it in. It is a little bit difficult sometimes to get these centered, but again, it's handmade, it's not perfect. Nothing is ever going to look perfect. So there's the bra with the two-tone cups. The cups are a little bit darker than the bra itself. And that really teeny tiny bow that you see there is going to go in the middle. I'm going to pick it up with my hands and I'm going to use, it's very, very tiny, which is why I didn't undo the dies because I feel like I would lose that. So I wanted to use a Zig 2A glue pen, put a little bit of glue down, pick up the bow, and place the bow on top of the bra. And that'll finish the bra off for the front of the card. The bra itself. Actually, just getting the bow in place. And there is the bra. So the nice thing about this die cut is that it actually creates slits in the bra straps, so you can actually put it through the hanger through the bra straps so that you can make it hang. So that's what I'm going to do, and that's now ready for the front of my card. I'm going to bring the card base out, and I'm going to start placing things down to see where I want things, make sure that I have enough placement, make sure that it's not too plain. So the sentiment "count on me for support" comes from the stamp set "Thanks for the support" as well. And then I cut out the Always die, the one that's a Simon Says stamp die, from that same pink cardstock. Now, if you saw that, it just pops the words up. It doesn't actually cut them out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to trim off the sides so that I have a straight line going all the way across underneath the word always. I'm not going to cut the letters out because I want them to have a little bit of a base, which I'll show you in a minute. So first I decided to use my scissors to try to cut it out. Then you're going to see I bring in my cutting tool, my paper trimmer, and I'm going to cut the bottom off so that it leaves a little ledge. So I'll show you very quickly. I'm just trimming it up, and I left it about 1/4 of an inch longer on the bottom. So there you go. So now I'm just placing it on the paper, and I realized that it almost blends in because there's so many words behind it and it doesn't really stand out. It's such a light color. Now I'm just, again, trying to find the right placement on the card and putting the paper trimmer away. I'm going to take that sentiment and I'm going to use that Razzleberry ink from My Favorite Things, and I'm going to flatten out the banner just a little bit, just so that I can stamp my sentiment on it. You can stamp the sentiment first and then fold it, which is probably what I should have done, but I did not think about it. The banner is curved a little bit, and what's nice about these stamps is, about clear stamps, is that you can angle it, so you could angle the sentiment just a little bit. I didn't here, but you can, and then it creates a little bit of an arced banner. So here's the always, and this is when I realized it was too plain. So what I did was I went back with there's two sized ribbons in there. There's a large one, which is what I used first, I believe, and then there's a smaller one. So I wanted to stamp the image all over the back of it, because so much of what people know about breast cancer, or what they recognize with breast cancer, is the ribbon. So actually that's the smaller one. I'm going to take some of the Bubblegum Distress, or Bubblegum Hero Arts Shadow ink. I'm going to ink that up. And then just kind of stamp a pattern around, turning it sideways, upside down, just to kind of create a pattern and go around. Just to give it a little bit of, and just make it stand out a little bit, give it a little bit of dimension. And I'm doing it off the paper and off the letters, because that way it makes it look like it was a pattern paper and not just that I stamped it on there. If you kind of create a random pattern, it makes it look a little bit more like it was a pattern paper. Using that same one with the My Favorite Things hybrid Razzleberry ink, and just filling in some of the spots. So you're going to have lighter and darker ribbons. Again, this is for breast cancer, but there are all different kinds of cancers, and each one, I believe, has its own color. So you could always do this in a different color. It doesn't have to be the pink for breast cancer. It's very easy to do. There you go. I just have a little bit of a pattern on the back of that. I'm just trying to fill in a couple more letters, because I found some of the letters didn't have anything on there. There you go. Again, with throwing and dropping things, I was having a very difficult day that day. And I'm going to clean up my mat so that I don't get any ink on it. This is one of the projects where I didn't have to cover up anything that I got ink on. Now I'm going to take my Zig 2A glue pen, find the placement, and then go back and start gluing things down. There's my sentiment. So I have these pop dots from the $1 or $1.50 bin at Michael's and AC Moore. So I'm going to be using this to pop the banner up on. So on the back of the banner, on the middle piece of it, so that that sticks up, I'm going to put the circles on the back of that. So just going to do one row all the way across the banner. So how they work is you just take the, there's a little protective layer on each side of the circle, so you just take that off, and then place that down onto the paper, and then remove the top of that. So there you go. Just lining it up, making sure that you can't really see it from either side, and taking the paper backing off of the back of the circle, so that it sticks down. More difficulties. Just gluing the ends of the banner down with my Zig 2A glue pen. Next, I'm going to take the bra and hanger and glue that down. Use my Zig 2A glue pen. For intricate dies like this, the Zig two-way glue pen is probably the easiest thing to do. It has a nice chisel tip on it so that it makes it easy to just color around small edges. And you use it just like a pen. It's very simple to use. I'm going to stick the bra and the hanger onto the front of my card, and that just leaves the always left. So after that's down, I'm going to pick up the always and run my Zig two-way glue pen on the back of it to make sure that it has some glue. I'm going to dent all the letters. Again, Zig two-way glue pen is great for small dies like this. And then attach that to the front. Stick that down. As soon as I stick all the rest of the letters down, make sure they all get stuck. The card is finished. So there you go. There's my thing. So it says, always count on me for support. I thought that was a very cute sentiment. And the inside is blank. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have comments or questions, please feel free to leave them below. Thanks!